Hey everyone! Today we're diving headfirst into the thrilling world of inflation. Yeah, I know, it doesn't exactly scream must-see TV, but trust me, this is important stuff because inflation is like that weird smell in your grandma's attic. You might not want to think about it, but it's definitely there. And it's probably affecting you more than you realize. Now, most people think inflation just means prices are going up. And sure, that's part of it, but it's like saying a hurricane is just a bit of wind. It's a tiny part of a much bigger, scarier picture. Inflation is more about the overall decline in the purchasing power of money over time. So next time you're at the grocery store and that gallon of milk costs more than a basic car wash, don't just curse under your breath. Remember, it's not just the price of milk that's the problem. It's the sneaky inflation monster slowly draining the power from your hard-earned cash. Stay tuned, because we'll unpack this whole inflation thing even further, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to fully understand this silent, wallet-wilting menace. Okay, now let's get down to brass tacks. What exactly is inflation besides a buzzkill for your budget? In the simplest terms, inflation is a measure of how much more expensive a set of goods and services has become over a certain period, usually a year. Think of it like a report card for prices. And let's just say, lately it's been getting straight Fs. Remember, inflation isn't an event itself, like a sudden hailstorm of price hikes. It's more like a slow, steady drizzle that eventually soaks you to the bone. It's the gradual, upward trend of prices over time, like that friend who borrows $1 every time you see them and never pays you back. Except in this case, it's your purchasing power that's slowly disappearing. We measure inflation using something called a price index. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with the details. Just imagine a giant shopping cart filled with all the things we normally buy. Food, gas, rent, you name it. Economists track the prices of these items over time, and if the total cost goes up, boom, inflation. Now, a little inflation is normal, even healthy for a growing economy. But when it gets out of control, it's like letting a toddler loose in a candy store with your credit card. And trust me, nobody wants to deal with that mess. Alright, enough with the definitions. Let's talk about how this whole inflation thing actually affects you, dear viewer. And no, I'm not just talking about your dwindling ability to afford avocado toast, although that is a tragedy in itself. First off, inflation eats away at your savings like a horde of ravenous moths attacking a vintage sweater collection. That money you've been stashing away for a rainy day, it's losing value every single day thanks to inflation. It's like leaving your money in a leaky piggy bank, except the leak is invisible and caused by complex economic forces. Fun, right? But it's not just your savings that take a hit. Inflation also messes with your wages. Sure, you might be getting a raise, but is it keeping up with the rising cost of, well, everything? If your income isn't growing faster than inflation, congrats! You're actually making less money than you were before. It's like running on a treadmill. You're putting in the effort, but you're not actually getting anywhere. And if that's not enough, inflation can also make planning for the future a nightmare. Trying to figure out how much money you'll need for retirement is like trying to predict the weather 3 decades in advance. Will a loaf of bread cost $1.20? Well, no, that's just crazy talk. Possibly. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. At least we have each other, right? So, we've established that inflation is about as much fun as a root canal. But why should you even care? Why not just bury your head in the sand and pretend it's not happening? Well, here's the thing. Understanding inflation is crucial for making smart financial decisions. Not knowing about this can cripple your financial stability. You're essentially sailing blind in a financial hurricane. And let's be honest, nobody wants to be caught off guard by a financial hurricane. Knowing about inflation can help you negotiate better salaries, make informed investment choices, and even plan for retirement more effectively. It's like having a secret weapon in your arsenal against the forces of economic uncertainty. Think about it this way. Would you go on a road trip without checking the map or packing a spare tire? Probably not. Well, understanding inflation is like having a financial GPS. You know, the one that tries to help you to avoid traffic and tolls. It's essential for navigating the twists and turns of the economy. So the next time you hear someone mention inflation, don't just zone out. Pay attention, ask questions, and arm yourself with knowledge. Because in the battle against rising prices, knowledge is power. And nobody likes feeling powerless against a silent, money-gobbling monster. Now I know what you're thinking, this is all very informative and concerning, but what does the future hold? Will we all be eating ramen noodles and living in cardboard boxes? Well, the truth is, predicting inflation is a bit like herding cats. There are so many factors at play, from global supply chains to government policies. It's enough to make your head spin faster than a washing machine on the spin cycle. Some economists believe inflation will cool down in the coming months, like a soothing aloe vera gel on a nasty sunburn. Others are predicting it's going to get worse before it gets better, like that one friend who insists on borrowing money even though they're already in your debt. The bottom line is, nobody knows for sure what the future holds for inflation. But one thing is certain, it's not going away anytime soon. We're on this roller coaster together, and in for a wild ride. But don't worry, we'll be here every step of the way to guide you through the choppy waters of inflation. And who knows, maybe we'll even have some fun along the way. Or at least as much fun as one can have while discussing the intricacies of global economic trends. That's all the time we have for today, folks. But fear not, the inflation conversation doesn't end here. Next week, we'll be diving even deeper into the murky depths of this economic phenomenon. We'll be exploring the different types of inflation, the factors that cause it, and most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself from its insidious effects. So, stay tuned for more financial fun and games. And remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to inflation. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and for your own sake, keep an eye on your wallets.